When Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj had been preaching behind the Iron Curtain and visiting places like Poland and East Germany and Czechoslovakia. Later on, it became Czech and Slovakia. It was Czechoslovakia at the time. He was putting himself in really a dangerous situation. If he was caught, he might have been either executed or put in jail and never found again. But he risked his life to preach, and there was many harrowing experiences where many times he almost was caught. And so the news was coming to Prabhupada by letters, mostly by Tamal Krishna Goswami and others, on what Ganesham was doing behind the Western Curtain, behind the Eastern Curtain, the Russian block. And Prabhupada was mostly praying for him and also very happy to see that he was risking everything to spread Krishna consciousness. And so when Prabhupada came to London in the year 1977, after leaving Vrindavan, he went to London. He was on his way to go to Gitanagari to try to start self-sufficiency, but he stayed in London for a while. Eventually, of course, he never made it to the US. He went back to India. But while he was in London, Tamal Krishna Goswami personally brought Ganesha Bhakti Tirtha Swami to see Prabhupada. And he was so happy to bring him there because Prabhupada was so pleased with his service that Prabhupada went up to him and embraced him and said, "Your life is perfect." I mean, how many people got that from Prabhupada? It's like, that was rare. I think Prabhupada embraced maybe one or two of his disciples in the whole time he was here. I think he did it to Brahmananda once. But that was really rare. So he got a special blessing from Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada was so pleased that he had given everything just to, preach Krishna consciousness in the most dangerous situation. I mean, it was really dangerous. He told me one time he was giving a class in East Germany, and then the word came out, the SS were out there and they were coming in. So he had to run out the window and hide underneath a vehicle until they didn't find him. He was hiding underneath the vehicle. No, that was just one of many close calls. In a story that he told me personally, that he had a dream, and in the dream Srila Prabhupada came to him in the dream. He was sitting at the feet of Prabhupada, and there was just the two of them in the room. And Prabhupada was quite silent during that little apparent interchange. But then Prabhupada did something and said, he pointed and said, "Let them in. Let them in." And then he turned and looked, and he saw by the door there was all these black people. So he took that as an indication Prabhupada wanted him to preach to his culture. So from then he made Africa one of his main preaching programs. So that came in a dream from Srila Prabhupada. So he told me that one personally, and he was very inspired to receive that instruction from Prabhupada. And he took it up with full enthusiasm, spending a lot of time in Africa and meeting heads of state, making great inroads in bringing Krishna consciousness to Nigeria, Ivory Coast, Rwanda, and many of the places, mostly in East Africa. Later on, he went to places in West Africa. No, mostly in West Africa, I'm sorry. And then later he went to East Africa. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.